Hello, people. We're headed out to the lake right now. We're right upon it here. The last 2 days were very rough, very bad. So I was thinking the good thing about having consecutive bad days of fishing is with every new day, your odds are going up. So let's see what happens today. The last 2 days was so hard to catch fish that I tried to force it by making millions of casts, and I blew out my right shoulder. So I got to kind of baby that today, and I got to keep in mind that I can't do that. Better just to sometimes admit defeat and go on. But I stayed out there for hours each day, just chunking like crazy, trying to catch fish. And I did catch some, but blew my shoulder out. All right, so we're gonna get on down there. Let's see what happens. All right, people. We're gonna be throwing this rattle trap today. We had a low last night of about 68. Supposed to have a high today of about 85. And we got some good clouds right now. That's supposed to disappear. And we're supposed to get some bright sunshine. The first 20 minutes of casting here is going to tell me the story, for the most part, of what I can expect here today. This area is highly pressured. So I will go to another area, but we're gonna work this area for a couple more days. I want to know what's going on. And the only way you figure out what's going on is to spend time. There's a beautiful crane right there. He's out here a lot. I have to think of a name for him. Them things are tall. Beautiful. All right, people. We've been out here probably about a good 20 minutes now with nothing to show for it. So we're going to give it about 10 or 15 more minutes, and then we're going to go to plan B. Plan B is going to be yesterday when I was out here, I saw a mess of looked to be fairly decent sized bluegills all along the shoreline feeding on the surface of the water. So I brought a crappie jig, and we may try that. But I'm not going to blow my arm out today. All right, people, it's not looking good. We're just about to wrap it up on the bass fishing and see what we can catch on a crappie jig. Like I say, I seen a bunch of bluegills out here yesterday. I'm not sure if they'll hit it. I've never caught bluegills out here before on a crappie jig, but they might. They seem to be a fairly decent size. But we're going to try about 15-20 more casts, and then we're going to wrap it on the bass fishing. Sometimes, like I say, you just got to know when to call it. I blew out my arm yesterday, made so many casts, and I hiked all over the place. And I could not force the bass to bite. So I learned my lesson. Sometimes you just got to know when to call it. All right, let's wrap this bass fishing up. All right, people, I got this tiny crappie jig, and I've got that about 3 feet under a weighted float. Let's chunk that out and see, let's just see what happens. And we will throw the rattle trap some more, but I just want to see what happens with this. All right, I just had a takedown. All right, I've been watching this guy over here in this boat. He's been there about 15-20 minutes. He hasn't caught anything. I got one on the crappie jig. Man, this is not a bluegill. I can tell you that. We got a bass on here. Only got 6-pound test line on there. Not a bad bass. That's definitely over a pound on the little crappie jig. We might be onto something here, people. Maybe we just needed to go smaller. We got us about 1.5 pound bass on the little sockeye jig. Beautiful. Let's let him go. Beautiful. Maybe we're on to something here. Let's do that again. That was very enjoyable. I found that very enthralling. One of my favorite sayings is, you just never know. I mean, he sucked that crappie jig down. Come on, sockeye jig, get me something. I don't care. Another bass, catfish, gar, carp. Get me a drum. A nice sized drum would be good. Get me a crappie. Get me something. Get me a nice sized bluegill. Got him. Another little bass. Another little bass, people. This time we got a little smallmouth, or a little spotted bass. Very enthralling. I love it. Long spotted bass. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll do this all day. Save my arm too for tomorrow in case that front brings in some nice bass. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's let him go. Thank you, Mr. Spotted Bass. All right, people. We just tried the rattle trap again and nothing. So we're going to go back with this little sockeye jig, crappie jig. Got him. Another bass. Look at this. Right in the top lip. Come here, buddy. Easy. That's only 6-pound test line. Work with me, guy. I'm about to release you. Gotcha. This is fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. I love this kind of stuff. I'll be thinking about this all night long. That's another fish. About 1.5 pounds on that sockeye jig. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is crazy. I love it. I love it. Let's let them go, people. This is fascinating to me. Fascinating. There you go, buddy. I hope you all can see that bobber. Got him. Look at this, people. Come here, guy. I got you. Oh, he broke the line. Don't. That's number 4, people. Definitely on the short side of a pound, but beautiful. And this, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Let's release them. This is what you call making, when life gives you lemons, when fishing gives you lemons, make lemonade. Just try things. That's the motto. Just keep trying things. Another thing I find fascinating is every one of those bass were large enough to take that rattle trap. And I've still been throwing it. I just haven't been, I've been erasing the footage because nothing was happening. Can y'all see that in the water? My jig, how tiny it is. That is just a tiny, tiny jig. Okay, people, I just saw a flash of a fish's underside right over here. I don't know what it was. I have no clue. But I'm gonna shorten up this jig some, and we're gonna see if whatever it was will partake of my morsel. Let's do it. Got him. Finally got a gill. Oops. Oh no, I want to show you. I want to show you, buddy. Settle down, settle down, settle down. That's actually a little long ear. That's a long ear. Got him on that little jig. I love it. I love it, people. Beautiful little fish. Let's let him go right here. Hello, people. I'm just around the bend from my machine. I just saw a fox scurry off through there. But I had a fascinating blast of a time doing that. I found it so enjoyable and just fascinating. In between throwing that jig under the bobber, I was throwing the rattle trap throughout the whole time out there. Nothing. But what I find really fascinating is every one of those fish, except for that long ear, could have easily gulped the rattle trap. I was throwing it. Fascinating. But you can bet I'm going to keep that little jig and bobber rig with me, and the very next time I have a rough day, the bass don't seem to be biting, I'm going to put that on and see if I can't replicate what we did today out there. Anyway, I had a blast, and if you all enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up. And if I could humbly ask for y'all to press that subscribe button and that notification bell if you like my videos in general, so you'll know when I post another one. And wherever you're at, have a wonderful time. God bless, and bye-bye. That was fascinating. Fascinating.